You bought the thing. You knew you would regret it. You bought it anyway. And now the guilt is sitting in your chest like a stone. You tell yourself, never again? You mean it. You really do. The next week, you do it again. This is not about willpower. This is not about discipline. Something else is running this loop. Something underneath your decisions that your conscious mind cannot reach by simply trying harder. That thing has a name. It is called the behavioral reinforcement cycle. And once you understand what it is actually doing to your brain, everything about this pattern will make sense in a way it never has before. Stay with me. You have constantly been told over and over that spending money you do not actually possess is simply a massive, embarrassing failure of your own personal willpower. Aggressive financial experts loudly and constantly insist that you just need to rigidly track every single penny, quickly cancel your favorite television streaming subscriptions, and fiercely deny yourself any form of small daily comfort to finally fix your dying bank account. It makes absolute perfect sense that you deeply believed this incredibly toxic, widely accepted mainstream narrative. You carefully watch other people seemingly stick to their strict monthly financial budgets with absolute effortless ease and complete perfection. You falsely assume they naturally possess some magical genetic discipline that you are entirely missing from your own biological makeup. You sadly tell yourself that you are just inherently broken and permanently bad at properly managing money. Here is the problem with that. This rigid, mathematically obsessed financial advice strictly addresses the highly superficial symptom of your completely empty wallet, completely ignoring the intense psychological warfare constantly happening inside your tired nervous system every single day. You genuinely think you are repeatedly failing a simple, straightforward daily test of absolute self-control. Your overwhelmed biological brain is actually using physical digital shopping to violently force a temporary chemical change in your heavily stressed physical body. You are actively wrestling with an incredibly dangerous, completely invisible psychological layer called emotional self-medication. We will carefully return to exactly how that deeply hidden emotional layer continually sabotages your daily budget much later in this deep conversation. Why does mindlessly swiping your heavy metal credit card for something you completely do not need physically feel exactly like taking a deep, relaxing breath of fresh mountain air? You are definitely not imagining that powerful, undeniable feeling of sudden physical relief beautifully washing over your incredibly tired body. A truly fascinating behavioral economics study from the prestigious Stanford University clearly revealed something incredibly shocking about human consumer behavior. Highly trained researchers conclusively demonstrated that the physical act of making a concrete purchasing decision immediately and drastically lowers acute biological stress markers in the human body by a massive 35%. Your completely exhausted brain is absolutely not trying to maliciously ruin your long-term financial future or destroy your hard-earned wealth. Your deeply tired brain is simply trying to safely protect you from overwhelming daily anxiety using the absolute fastest, easiest chemical tool currently available in our modern digital society. The incredibly painful financial hangover you inevitably feel the very next morning is literally just the severe biological crash directly following a massive artificial neurochemical high. You are constantly fighting millions of dollars of highly sophisticated retail engineering with just sheer, raw human willpower alone. To permanently break this highly destructive emotional cycle, you absolutely must deeply understand the invisible psychological machinery directly controlling your digital wallet. We are going exactly deep into 3 highly specific psychological mechanisms today. We will systematically explore action bias, ego depletion, and cognitive dissonance. Mechanism 1 is action bias. Action bias is the overwhelming psychological urge to physically do something, anything at all, to aggressively regain a false sense of forward momentum during a highly stressful, completely uncontrollable life situation. You are desperately trying to scale a brand new digital content automation agency, and you deeply feel completely overwhelmed trying to efficiently manage multiple freelance video editors, demanding scriptwriters, and aggressive aesthetic thumbnail designers at the exact same time. Instead of actually having the incredibly difficult operational conversations required to perfectly fix your completely broken creative workflow, you confidently spend $300 on an absolute premium project management software subscription you do not even slightly need yet. In your incredibly anxious brain, the quick physical action of actively spending money instantly creates a deeply comforting illusion of real professional productivity and immediate business growth. Your overloaded nervous system desperately prefers the easy artificial progress of a quick digital purchase over the incredibly difficult reality of actually executing the demanding daily operational work. Your brain equates spending with succeeding. Spending money artificially mimics real progress. Mechanism 2 is ego depletion. Ego depletion is the temporary exhaustion of your physical willpower reserves following a long period of regulating your emotions or intensely focusing your mental energy. You survive a brutal 14-hour workday building a complex digital marketing campaign and staring at bright computer screens until your eyes burn. You collapse onto your living room couch, turn on a dramatic television show featuring a deeply charismatic and stylish villain, and effortlessly spend $600 on the exact same designer winter coat that character is wearing on screen. Daily technical stress drains your biological energy reserves. Your exhausted prefrontal cortex essentially stops resisting, allowing your impulsive emotional center to take over the financial steering wheel without resistance. Your tired brain no longer has the metabolic energy required to fight the temptation of a brand new identity marker. Willpower is a finite biological resource. Mechanism 3 is cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is the psychological pain that appears when your behavior directly contradicts your deeply held personal identity. You identify as a highly responsible business founder who carefully optimizes every operational expense. Then you suddenly spend $900 on an aesthetic mechanical keyboard, studio lighting, and a massive curved editing monitor instead of saving that money for your quarterly taxes. To escape the shame of that contradiction, your brain immediately invents a logical justification. It convinces you that this unnecessary aesthetic purchase was actually a strategic creative investment required for your future success. You lie to your own mind to survive the financial guilt of the transaction. Your brain naturally defends your ego. Now that you understand the 3 hidden psychological mechanisms controlling your wallet, here is exactly what to do about them. You need to implement the conscious friction protocol. Step 1 is pattern interrupt. Pattern interrupt is the deliberate act of changing your physical environment the exact moment you feel the emotional urge to browse an online store. You stand up and physically walk into another room. This sudden environmental shift breaks the hypnotic trance of mindless browsing and gives your rational prefrontal cortex enough time to regain financial control. Step 2 is barrier injection. Barrier injection means intentionally creating obstacles between your emotional desire and your digital credit card. Delete every saved payment method from your phone and force yourself to manually type out your card information for every transaction. This manufactured inconvenience slows your impulsive momentum and gives your logical brain enough breathing space to reject a terrible financial decision. Step 3 is void translation. Void translation requires you to identify the emotional emptiness you are trying to fill with a consumer product. Before finalizing any major purchase online, write down 3 specific emotions you are currently feeling, like burnout, boredom, or stress. This forces you to recognize that you are not buying products to improve your life. You are using them to soothe a psychological wound. You originally believed your empty wallet was a failure of mathematical discipline. In reality, you were using transactions to medicate emotional pressure and temporarily escape psychological discomfort. You were never financially incompetent. You were emotionally overloaded and relying on broken psychological tools, but now you can finally see the hidden behavioral game clearly. You can stop chasing temporary chemical relief and begin directing your money toward genuine freedom instead of impulsive emotional escape. You finally regain control over your own mind. If you want to keep understanding the hidden psychology driving your money, not just the basic math, subscribe. Next time, we are exposing how the halo effect secretly tricks you into wildly overpaying for completely average lifestyle products every single day.